Hey fam, you ain't ready for this.
It's big money, big cars, big moves. It's muscle tone, brah, there ain't nothing to prove. The best breeds from the States to the Outback. Keep your eyes peeled, guaranteed you gon' learn that. Beanstalk, big boss on lock. If a canine was God, it would be this dog.
Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of Muscletonebullys. Today we are discussing how to pick a puppy out of a litter. Once you've picked it, what are the basic steps on how to raise it as a pup so that it can grow out to be the best possible adult stud that you have, to give it its most potential. So follow us as my wife takes out the Brabus right now with our new keeper that we've kept off of King Kong, which we're going to introduce to you by the end of this episode. Okay, so it started to rain on us, so we had to put the top up. We are heading to the pet store. We're gonna get him a collar, a leash, and little toys my wife wants to get him because he is coming in the house, and we are going to potty train him, leash train him, and socialize him above all. This is very important, guys, because very often a lot of your dogs get anxiety. You give them anxiety medication to travel with and all kinds of stuff, and the reason for it is because they did not get socialized and exposed to enough things as puppies. When I say puppies, I mean like 8 weeks on. So we're gonna be taking this dog everywhere with us. This is one of our next big name dogs, and legend in the making. We'll introduce you to this dog very soon. Okay, so we just got to the pet store, and we're about to go inside, and just realized that this puppy has a little bit of an attitude. For some odd reason, when you pet him from time to time, I don't know what it is, as you can see up, he growls at me.
Listen to this. Stop. No. Be nice.
Alright, so that's something we gotta work on. It is what it is. Okay, so we're finally at the pet store. And a few things I want to discuss about when you're buying stuff for your puppy or your dog in general. So there are a few things that I never ever buy, and I tell all my clients not to buy. Toys in general for dogs are no-no. Anything made of rubber, fabric, plastic, anything of the kind is a big no-no. And I know a lot of people don't understand why. It is very difficult to train a pup not to eat your shoes, not to chew your table, not to chew your children's toys, on and on and on. When you're giving him things to play with that smell and made of the same exact material as the toys and chews that you give them. I don't let the dogs play with sticks outside until they're older on age, because I don't want them without teething chewing everything that's wood in the house. So what I give them to chew on are bones. Chances are, unless you have some art made of bone in your house, you're not gonna have any issues. So we give them like pretty much big ears to play with, which are not the greatest, not the healthiest thing, but you can give them something like that. But I prefer to give them just solid big bones, ones with the filling inside. That's what I like to give him. Something that there's no such material in the household. That's number one. Number two, you don't want to teach the dog to ever chew and play on plastic, rubber, or anything of the sort, or metal, or anything like that, because what happens, they end up swallowing toys when they get bigger, and you're gonna have to cut their stomach out to get it out. I know a lot of people who've lost their dogs, who've died from this, or at least have had to have surgery to save their dogs from this. And I can tell you right now from personal experience, you're looking at between $2,000 to $4,000 for such a surgery. So keep that in mind. So right now we're getting leashes, and
It's a call. We have to.
yep.
So kitty small, he's my best friend. He's my buddy. Show with happy ears and a wagging tail. We'll have fun together without you. He's got the energy. He's got the groove. Running and playing. He'll never move. We're dancing around like we just don't care. Me and Bobby, a perfect pair.
we're now at the cave. Is the chef, one of the best chefs in the world. If you gotta come here and try this food, if you guys are ever in Naples, I'll give you guys an idea of the restaurant. You guys see why it's called the cave, right? So the cool thing about Dave is that Dave bought his littermate sister. The only littermate sister in the litter, the only female in that litter, belongs to Dave. So congratulations.
Thank you.
We're excited to get you that dog. You'll be picking it up probably next week sometime. Came to see her today. And so he invited us out to eat at the cave. So we're gonna have a great meal over here today. And
Dog friendly.
absolutely, as you can see. And what do you got on the menu for us today?
We've got a lot of stuff. Scallops, steaks. Pretty much a pretty diverse. We have like some Japanese-inspired food, some French-inspired food.
That's right.
Italian stuff too. So good mix of.
Dave spent some time in Japan, right? Just like I did.
Yeah,
So Japanese culture is big.
In the world.
Yeah, one of the best sushi men in the world right here, guys. All right, so we'll continue our episode in a bit. Alrighty, so this little booger, we gotta work on his attitude. So now we're gonna discuss about how to choose your puppy out of a litter. Well, thank you very much. Let's start with this. The first features that I look for is bone, chest spread, mass in general, neck, shoulders, and a rear that's as wide as the front. If I don't have all these features, I'm not keeping the pup. It's just not happening. Those features gotta exist or everything's for sale. Fortunately for me, I have not had puppies who don't have all of those features for at least 12 years. So every one of my puppies in every litter has those features. I might have like a last pick or so that might lack one or two features, but in general, the majority of pups, I would say over 80%, have always had those features. In the past couple of years, I would say over 99% have always had all those features. So now I'm down to structure. Which dog stands, moves, and walks the best. That's what I'm down to. But every now and then I have a dog that's overly extreme, like Beanstalk or Nemesis, who's not show quality, that is just not something I can deny, and I end up keeping it. Yuki was the last pup that I kept that way. Titan's another one. They're not show dogs, but they're so extreme and they're so wide in the chest. They have so much mass that I just cannot help but keep the dog, even though it's not show quality. This guy, on the other hand, has it all. He reminds me a lot of Nemesis and Beanstalk as a pup. Massive bone chest, same head as Beanstalk had with better eyesight, wide rear. But this dog is compact, it's clean, he moves properly, he has a great top line. Everything about this dog so far as of now is on point. I can't deny this dog. Will he turn out to be as extreme as Nemesis or Beanstalk? Only time will tell. But he will definitely be extreme. After all, we are an extreme bloodline. Will he be a perfect show dog, a grand champion dog? As of right now, it looks like he will be, and most likely will be. So, once more, the reason I'm telling you will most likely is because no one is sure. Only fools are sure. So anyone who tells you something for certain, it's never for certain. It's like a possibility of 90% plus, 95% plus, that I might be right on point on what I think on every pup I choose. I have rarely been wrong. I can count on one hand how many times I made a mistake choosing a pup. But the majority of the time, I've always been on point. It comes with experience and it comes with time. You just get the eye, you can see it faster. But it's very important to look out for features that you don't want to keep more than the features you want to keep. So start with features you don't want in your yard. For example, I would not want a dog that tapers in the rear. I do not want a dog that lacks chest spread. I do not want a dog that lacks bone. I do not want a dog that lacks head. And I definitely don't want a dog that has any type of handicap at all. Any handicap, dog is out. So I just do not waste my time on puppies that don't have the whole package. Unless they're so extreme that I cannot deny it and I need to bring the mass back into my program. But again, if they're handicapped, I do not keep them at all. At all. Beanstalk is a great example of extreme that is flawed but has zero handicap. Beanstalk is athletic, he can move, he can run. He's a little weak in the pasterns, a little longer in the back. He's not a perfect specimen for show by any means, but He's healthy. Lacks a little bit of conformation, just a little bit, but he's healthy. So that's something I can work with. Now, if I had a dog that was severely crippled, that's another story. I would not keep it. If he had dysplasia, heart issues, eye issues, brain issues, neurologic issues, or autoimmune issues, I'm not wasting my time. It's not something I want in my program. I don't care how much mass the dog carries. It's not something I give away for free. I don't sell it. If I'm selling the dog in its extreme, it's probably because it's good breeding stock. May not be quality for show, but good enough for breeding. So just to give you guys an idea and how I choose my pups. Now, when I'm choosing puppies out of my own bloodline, I recognize certain features. The mascara on the eyes, the wrinkles on the bone, the displacement of the front feet and the rear, the way the chest spread sits, the way the neck sits, all of these things, even sometimes the way the tail sits. I recognize it, I know where it comes from, and I can trace it back 20-some years. And sometimes I can trace it back to the dogs I bred to when I was first starting that weren't mine. That's how far back I can still see features in my dogs. And I realize that some features are connected with other things. Thick tail always comes with thick bone in my yard. The wrinkles in the face always come with a very gigantic head. They eventually fill into it. Mascara around the eyes, most of the time, usually that's the top dog in the litter. I don't know why, but it's not a science, but most of the time it seems to be the case. Could be just a coincidence. The couple of wrinkles on at the bottom of the ankle, the bone, that usually means massive bone like Nemesis. This dog here is a great example of that. So certain things I recognize, and I'll know my dogs when I see it, even if there's once or twice in the pedigree of someone else's dogs. I'll recognize my bloodline in their dog. I'll recognize also bloodlines that I use to get where I am in other dogs. That's time and experience and having a very good eye, and that's something you can only get with experience and time. Also, I think it's a gift. You have to have a photogenic memory. Not everyone has one. I was blessed with one, thank God, which helps me a lot in my breeding program. Now, this per se, I'm not telling you that you can't make a mistake. Like I said at the beginning, you could follow every direction I just told you and what I picked for, and you could still turn out to be wrong months from now when a dog develops something that was not apparent at a young age. But I'm giving you the best odds possible for you to get the right pup out of the litter. So that being said, that ends our episode for today.
My sweet pup, you are my pride, a loyal companion, right by my side. Every wagon buck, every joyful